What a painful sight for President Vladimir Putin. The troops he sent to Syria to shore up Russian influence in the Middle East 9 years ago, forced to retreat, moving in convoy along the road north from Damascus this morning. For Syrians watching them pass, not so painful. Without Russian support, Bashar al-Assad would probably have fallen long ago.
Tell me what you're feeling watching the Russians go past.
نصر كبير وفرحة الحمد لله قتلونا ودمرونا والحمد لله.
We passed scores of vehicles, a column that continued for several kilometers, an organized retreat. And then they were forced to stop. One vehicle with a flat tire, and they all ground to a halt. The Russian military is notoriously camera shy, but today avoiding us was a low priority, although they didn't want to talk. At their height, the Russians had some 5,000 troops on the ground in Syria. Many were withdrawn when they invaded Ukraine in 2022. Here they were infamous for the destruction they wreaked from the air. But that's all over. The rebels they've been fighting are now the ones in power.
The Russian column has just set off again. It took them nearly 2 hours to sort out one flat tire. What we can see is that they are leaving in good order. They don't look like a defeated army. They must have come to some kind of agreement with the new authorities in Damascus. But we've seen more than 150 vehicles. It gives an idea of how huge the Russian presence in Syria was.
They turned onto the road to Latakia and Tartus, where the Russians have an air base and a naval port. Transport aircraft and frigates have been spotted there, suggesting these forces are to be withdrawn to Russia. In Damascus, the new Prime Minister was fighting through not Russians, but crowds of well-wishers to get into the Umayyad Mosque for Friday prayers. During the scenes of mass jubilation, the man who led the militia that toppled Assad, shedding both his jihadi name and uniform, put out a statement calling for sober and responsible celebration.
أود أن أبارك للشعب السوري العظيم انتصار الثورة المباركة وأدعوهم للنزول إلى الميادين للتعبير عن فرحتهم بذلك دون إطلاق الرصاص وترويع الناس ثم بعد ذلك لنتجه إلى بناء هذا البلد وكما قلناها منذ البداية منصورة بعون الله والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
And head to the squares they did after Friday prayers. The biggest crowds were in Damascus, but all over the country people came out to celebrate the downfall of the Assad regime just 5 days ago. So much has happened since then, an entire nation transformed, looking back in pain and forward in hope. Syrians may be happy to see the Russians go, but other regional powers are jostling to take their place, stepping into the void left by decades of dictatorship and war.